10 years ago, smartphones were just starting to grow out of their teenage phase. It was a time before folding screens, before 200 megapixel cameras, and when headphone jacks still ruled. And right in the middle of this golden era came one of the most beautifully built phones ever, the HTC One M8 and its quieter sibling, the HTC One M8s. Today we're traveling back to 2015 to revisit the HTC One M8s, a phone that carried the DNA of a legend, but with a few interesting twists. Let's break down what made this phone a standout, where it stumbled, and how it holds up now, a decade later. Let's begin. Back in 2015, the smartphone game was fierce. Samsung had just dropped the Galaxy S6 with its new glass design, Apple was fresh off the success of the iPhone 6, and LG was pushing the boundaries with the G-Force leatherback and manual camera controls. HTC, once a titan in the Android world, had wowed everyone with the original HTC One in 2013, and then the M8 in 2014, a phone widely praised for its premium metal build and OS experience. On the surface, the M8s looked almost identical to the M8. That smooth aluminum unibody, 5-inch 1080p LCD screen, front-facing boom sound speakers. You would basically need a magnifying glass to tell them apart. But inside, things got interesting. Let's make a spec comparison between the two. The chipset we have on the M8 is a Snapdragon 801, that's pretty much the best at that time, versus a Snapdragon 615 on the One M8s. The rear camera, we have a 4 megapixel ultra pixel technology on the One M8 versus 13 megapixel standard on the One M8s. Battery-wise, we have 2600 on the M8 versus 2840 on the M8s. So we can pretty much see where this is going. The M8s was made with efficiency and battery life in mind. Apart from this, not really anything else. Back in the days, the processor was quite a big deal, and we will talk about that. Let's talk strengths. First things first, the build quality. The M8s simply feels amazing in the hand. The curved aluminum back, chamfered edges. It actually has more metal than some laptops, even nowadays. The boom sound stereo speakers were loud, clear, and one of the best on the market at that time. And we have to take into consideration that we talk about a time where stereo sound was not really a thing. It was just starting to appear. And the software, Android with HTC Sense UI on the top of it. It was clean, fast, and with genuinely useful features like motion launch gestures and blink feed. You either loved it or hated it, but it was distinctively HTC. But not everything aged like fine wine. The Snapdragon 615, while more power efficient, was a definite downgrade in performance. Lag wasn't uncommon, especially with heavier apps and games. And I can see that now as well. It's running Android 5 with no additional weight on its shoulders, and it's pretty slow. The response rate of the screen doesn't seem great either. And the 13 megapixel camera, while sharper on paper, lacked that low light ability and personality from the ultra pixel camera on the M8. Even though, to be completely honest, none of the both solutions were great. The ultra pixel thing was good and interesting on the paper, but the implementation was pretty bad. And that's coming in an era where cameras started to become more and more important. I personally had the Galaxy S6, and trust me, the photos were very good compared with this or the M8. Much better in general. And to make it worse, HTC didn't really market the M8s. It launched in limited regions, quietly, and didn't offer a clear reason to pick it over the original M8 or newer rivals. In many ways, the M8s represents HTC's turning point. A company once at the top of the Android world began to lose its edge and its audience. The One M9 that followed was met with mixed reviews, and despite a few bold moves with the U series and even VR with the HTC Vive, their smartphone market share simply vanished by the end of the decade. After that, they started a collaboration with Google, and like that, the Google Pixel was born, made by either HTC or LG. Eventually, Google acquired a big part of the HTC facilities to continue production and implementation in their own yard, and yes, HTC still exists. Sometimes they randomly drop a smartphone here and there, but they're not really different to any smartphones, and that makes it even harder, especially nowadays, to stand out and gain some market share. But the HTC One M8 and One M8s remain a reminder of when HTC dared to be different, with premium design, forward-thinking audio, and a whole lot of character. So, was the HTC One M8s a forgotten masterpiece? Maybe not, but it was a well-built, thoughtfully designed phone that tried to keep the HTC flame alive a little longer. And in a world now filled with glass slabs that look the same, the One M8s reminds us that design and identity used to matter. Got any memories of using the HTC One M8 or M8s? Let us know down below in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tech nostalgia. That's it from me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope I brought a little smile on those of you who remember phones like this and actually miss them. Hopefully, one day we will see a reinterpretation of this phone right here. And if that happens, I'll be the first in the row to buy something like this, but with a better screen, a better processor, better cameras, and yeah, something to give me that impression that just by looking at it, I know, and you know, it's an HTC. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.